All right, all right, all right, all right. My fellow brothers and sisters, fellow Ambazonians, and fellow friends of Ambazonians. Good afternoon to you all. For all of you, those that are in North America, good afternoon to you all. To the people in Europe, good evening to you all. And to people in Hong Kong, in China, in Australia, in Japan, in Malaysia, in Singapore, people in South Korea. We know it's already, I think it's about 3 a.m. on Thursday morning for all of you. So good morning to all of you. All right. To all our brothers and sisters in places like in the Persian Gulf and in the Middle East. Good evening to all of you. All right. It's already nighttime for all of you. So good evening to all of you. All right. I will be speaking in Pidgin today. Our primary audience is the Ambazonian people on the territory, not so much the diaspora, but the territory. So I will be speaking in Pidgin. Pidgin is it's almost like a first language speaking by the Ambazonian people. All right. So my fellow brothers and sisters, then for all our Ambazonian people, then when I welcome today, will be in a very great conversation with a lot of I don't wait for a very long time. All right. My goal now always for do research, for go find all the things that would be irrelevant, important for our people then, all right, because we'll get to move our people from state of ignorance to knowing, from the state of people where they be blindsided to people where they get the knowledge, they get the facts, because those things that they make, that they help with, will form better opinion, will develop a good strategy. We stand for what we want them. We know what we want them. We stand for what we want them. We stand for what we demand them. So today will be a very great discussion. That's something where it will make it will open all money eye. It will open all money heart. It will open all people all money head. All right. When I welcome, I go to give the advice where Simon Munzo, the chief federalist, it be give some Ambazonian leaders them and why they ignore that advice and the consequences for them for ignore that advice since 2017. All right, a federalist, an Ambazonian. When a federalist, it stand for it be very open about it. It gives some Ambazonian leaders them good advice for 2017, and he warned them. They're not here. 4 years later, we will talk more about it and why it been the best advice we be give them and why it be true. So all money place day, when I come well, when I come fine, make we start with this one. We start with the Ambazonian Defense Forces. Make I give you some updates. The Ambazonian Defense Forces, the chairman of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, and the War Council, when I lead the war for Ground Zero, they don't, on behalf of the Governing Council of Ambazonia, they don't declare 20th of May as the Ambazonian Day of Resistance. So for that day, it will be the day where all man, it go stay for house. You go stay for house for show your resistance against the occupation. You go stay for house for show your resistance against the colonialism of Ambazonia by Cameroon. Our people go stay for house. That day go also be a big national day of ghost town across the territory. Make a tell you now. On the 20th of May, when it don't become now, they don't take 20th of May. They don't name it now. 20th of May don't become an Ambazonia Day of Resistance. For that day, any person will be get plans for say I want waka, you want waka, what I want come out na manfe for go kumba, or you want come out na for kumbo, say they go for Bamenda. Cancel all the plans that we be getting about waka. No motor no go be for road, no bus no go be for road, no store no go open, no business no go open. Even people that they fry akara and pop off or cook chop for corner road, no place it no go open. Ambazonia will be totally shut down. Defense forces they will carry out defense military operations them across the territory. Now the first one that make a move this one for our front here. That one we don't finish with that one. We also today, the leadership of the people of Biafra, with their alliance, with the form with the Ambazonian people, then the people of Biafra, they don't send out a press release. Their communication department don't send out a press release for advise all the people, the Biafra people, then for the Biafra land, for advise them say for the 20th of May, the Ambazonian territory, it will be shut down, all borders they will be closed. So any person will live for the Biafra land, and if they plan for travel for Ambazonia, on the 20th of May, make that person cancel Iwaka. Secondly, they advise all the Biafra people then, where they stay for the Ambazonian territory, for tell them say on the 20th of May, make the Biafra people, they observe the Ambazonian Resistance Day, make they respect that day, make no man not come off outside, make no man not open a business. So this one are really good when I see how this alliance, it don't the how the relationship we don't form with the leader don't form with the Biafra people then. When I see how it don't yield some fruits then in terms of our extensive resistance. All right. Now the second thing the way Abuan Giam, I want to thank the people of Biafra. I want to thank the Biafran leadership, and I want to thank their communication department for this press release with the send out for the Biafra people them for advise them in advance. All right. I know say all na the wait. Now waiting as one can tell you today. By the way, my name na Asu Lucas. I'll be the press secretary for the Executive Office for Governing Council of Ambazonia. My people, ignorance. When the people they don't know something, it make them, they become slaves for people the way they know. All right? When the people they don't know something, they will become slaves for people where they know. Because God don't create people them. It gives people them something where they call and say choice. It gives people them something where they call and say right. All right? People get the right to be stupid. People get the right to be foolish. Not a right. You also get the right to be intelligent. You get the right to be strong. You get the right to be smart. All right? Now, right. Those things, they no go change. They call and say immutable laws. Now, laws of life, where God or the universe or life, it no go ever change those laws for please you or for please some person. Now, laws will be eternal. Once you understand the laws of life, you got to start to make your own choices. Whether you want to be an intelligent person or you want to be a stupid person. When you be a stupid person, you become the bread of the world. You become the slave of the world. You become the mumu for this world. You become person where this world will use you for the benefit of the world. But you will see yourself as a victim. For a person for be a victim, now a choice. When you hear me fine. For a person for be a victim, now a choice. Now a choice. For a person for be weak, now a choice. That same person, he get the choice and the right for be strong. La République du Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia not been at the fault of La République du Cameroon for occupy Ambazonia. I want at the top of now from leadership perspective. La République du Cameroon, their occupation of Ambazonia, not been a fault of La République du Cameroon for occupying Ambazonia. Now a fault of the Ambazonian people then for allow La République du Cameroon for occupy them. Not been at the fault of Cameroon for colonize Ambazonia. Not the fault of the Ambazonian people then for allow themselves to be colonized by Cameroon. So since 1966, the Ambazonian people, they surrender their sovereignty. They surrender who they be as a people to Cameroon. The occupation, Cameroon occupation for Ambazonia, it lasts till this day. Now because the Ambazonian people accepted to be under occupation. When I hear me fine, I put Cameroon flag. I put this flag, we'll go for talk the truth to our people then. Cameroon occupation for Ambazonia. Now because the Ambazonian people, they live and make Cameroon occupy them. Because Ambazonia, they accept occupation. Ambazonia, they accept for being a weak people. And so Cameroon occupy them. Now choice. It will be a choice. Cameroon, Ambazonia, they get a choice for not to accept Cameroon occupation. They get that choice. But why they choose the occupation? And now for here where sense come in. The government of Cameroon, since independence, with the backing of France, they use sense. They use social engineers, all right? People that they create the systems, the strategy of how for take something, you make them become your own, and then you hold them forever. France, they are social engineers. They develop a strategy of how Cameroon it go occupy Ambazonia, colonize Ambazonia, and for render the Ambazonian people them leaderless, for weaken the Ambazonian people them, make them they not go fit for organize themselves, make them they become very weak. Excuse me. Make them they become very weak, so that they not go ever fit for resist Cameroon. So Cameroon outsmarted the Ambazonian people them. I be talk with one of my advisors, and he sent me an interesting video. Simon Munzo, now a person where I don't get a lot of interest for which Simon Munzo they talk as a pan-Cameroon federalist, because me I like to study the psychology of the enemy. I need to know what the enemy they do, so that they help with for shape our own thinking system and adjust the way we do things. So one of my top advisors, he sent me a video. He said, take a look at this. You probably go hear one or two things where this guy go talk and it will make a lot of sense to you. I say, yeah, I don't study a lot of this man work, and I study thinking system. He said, no, just listen for this video. I take a look at the video. I say, a lot of what you be on the talk, this man, he don't finally the talk now openly. Simon Munzo, he make some revelations, things that we don't know, but I get for remind what people them, because he actually triggered this conversation. For 1966, 1961, the Ambazonian people and Cameroon, they come together. The world talks, okay, look, Ambazonia, we're going to get independence by joining. All right? We're going to go get independence by joining either Cameroon, or we're going to go join Nigeria. So the political elites for that time, they not be advocate for a third option. They not be argue the world, argue the UN for a third option of total independence to Ambazonia. So the political elite for that time, they make the calculation. They said, okay, by joining and through two states, federation of equal status, fine, no problem. They agree. No preparations, right? Even reach 5 years. For 1966, the Ambazonian people then from 1961 where they come together with Cameroon for form one state, where it be made up of two states of equal status through a federal structure, the Southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroon for form a state, all right, where they will be equal. Ambazonian leadership for that time, they not be predict, they not be think in advance. The Koni of Cameroon, because they not be get advisors. Ambazonian, they be get political parties, they get opposition parties, they get a party in power, and then they get plenty opposition party them, all right, where they debate ideas, debate policies. Ambazonian be get parliament. 1966, La République du Cameroon say, hey, he called the ruling class. He said, we got to change all these things. We got to move all this multi-partyism. We got to move all our multi-partyism. We got to create a one-party system. Now, for year Ambazonia, their palaver start. They take a political party which already exists for La République du Cameroon, CNU, Amadou Ahidjo, a political party. They take them, they make them as the only political party which will exist between the two federated states. So the Ambazonian people, them, the power where they be get them through their political formations, through these political parties. Because these political parties and the leaders of these political parties, now then they be the representation for the Ambazonian people them. The various political parties, they be the representations and the representative for the Ambazonian people them. For speak on behalf of Ambazonia. So La République du Cameroon, it made the first smart move. 1966, he abolished all the political parties. And Ambazonian leaders, they accepted that. They take all and they make them. They become under the dictator of Ahidjo. For the political party of Ahidjo CNU. They become the only party. From 1966, Ambazonian people, they lost their voice. Forget a representative leadership. They lost the capacity for speak on behalf of the people then. Now the first step that with La République du Cameroon, he use them for render the Ambazonian people them leaderless people. Now the first step of the occupation that. Now the first step, major step of the assimilation process that. It be been a smart move. Ambazonians, they allow themselves to be hijacked by a Fulani man. Ambazonians, they allow themselves to be swallowed by people where they talk say make we come together and form one country of equal status. So the question becomes, why be say the Ambazonian people them and the people of La République du Cameroon, Ambazonia be get parliament, La République du Cameroon be get parliament. So who be the president of French Cameroon? For can't tell Ambazonia say una dissolve all una political parties them. Una join my own party. And Ambazonia they accept them. Who be the fool? Una see place where problem let's start. Una see why? Because they take away our people, their rights. Forget a leadership we fit speak for them, fight for them, advocate for them, stand up for them. And the Ambazonian leadership accept them. So they like say they can't cut Ambazonia their head because a people will not get leader. When leadership not there for a people them, those people they go remain for wonderland. And the feel remain for that wonderland for generations and generations and generations and generations to come. Because leadership not there for harmonize the people them and lead the people them. It started for 1966. Once they take that first step, Ambazonian people, they accept them. They not be face any resistance. La République du Cameroon gain the confidence. Cameroon become confident. The process of subjugation don't start. The process of assimilation don't start. As long as they accept for dissolved political representation, they go only become the people the way now na Cameroon get for appoint them. Ooh, right? Now na Yijo get for appoint Ambazonian leaders. Not be their people go elect them anymore. Now a Fulani man for a country where they talk to make who come together for equal status. Now he don't dominate, clear out Ambazonian political leadership, and he become the person where now he go to tell Foncha, go to tell the Endeles, go to tell the Juas, waiting for do, which position if he get them, which position enough he get them. Now for here, Ambazonian men, they lost their canas. Ambazonian woman them. Oh, sorry for picking the way they listen. They lost. Picking they listen. I know I will get complaint for ACN people that say not begin use that kind of language for television. Ambazonian people they lost their man picking. Ambazonian woman they lost their womanness for lead. Now for they start. So Ambazonia, they become a leaderless people. They become a lost people. Once they do that one, they say, good, we don't achieve that one. There is no way where the people feel organize themselves, feel mobilize themselves, and feel do collective bargaining. You know, if you speak with one voice. Now the smartness exists of La République du Cameroon with the help of France. So it been a well-calculated move. And Ambazonia, they accept them. Ambazonia, they become victims of themselves through the choices the people they make them. They become victims. Now Ambazonia, they surrender their own power to La République du Cameroon. Now the Ambazonian people, they surrender themselves to Cameroon. Now a choice. I just say yes. We don't achieve the goal. The process of assimilation don't start. There come 1972. Oil don't be discovered in Ambazonia. The black gold don't be discovered. Now, of course, they go move for the second step for conquer the Ambazonian people then politically. France tell Aijo, tell those people, so the time don't reach over for unify the country. Make the country may become one united country. And they get all these, what are they calling the bamboozles? Some kind where they were Akwanga to use them. This all the way Benedictwa to use them. This they get all these political bamboozles. Where Aijo don't take man picking them, turn them into woman. It take woman them, it turn them into some other creatures. It take them, send them back from Ambazonia. He say, "Una go advocate for a united Cameroon. Una go advocate for a united Cameroon." There comes 1972, and the people they go back for the territory. They go preach for unification. For harmonize the two states. Because those people, they become now appointees. So now that they only speak now from the voice of Yaoundé, not be from the voice of Boya, not be from the voice of the people of Manfi, of the people of Kumba, not be from the voice of the people of Manu, of the people of Meme, of the people of Fako, of the people of Ndian, of the people of Kupe. Now that they speak now the Bulu voice. They send those people. Now for you, when elitism start, the elitist class, when they appoint them now. Now you know if you vote, you are members of parliament, you are members of your own council. Everybody be appointed. They appoint them. They send them. But they can't tell when I wait till they don't write them for paper. But they can't tell now. They not tell them. Ayijo decide what will go happen for them. If they not go do the work, where Ayijo send them. How a people they go come out from getting their own parliament, from being members of their own parliament, with all the powers where they get them, surrender their power for a Fulani man. Surrender themselves to La République du Cameroon. And then Ambazonian people, they will turn, they'll say, we'll be marginalized. No, you're not being marginalized. You accept occupation. You accept for being a slave. You accept for being conquered, for being swallowed. You accept for being weak. You accept for being stupid. You accept for being a fool. That's why they start for call you Anglo-fools. Because you be accept them. You accept what they want to make you become. You accept for become a Cameroonese. You accept for surrender your identity as a superior being. You accept for becoming a confused being, a being without an identity, a being without roots, a being without direction, a being where they don't move all a brain. Cameroon no assimilate any person. Now a willing choice. Then he come out. After La République don't succeed for do all these things, Ambazonian they don't surrender their identity. Cameroon don't swallow them. It turn them into genetically modified beings. All right? Who come up from being a superior people with superior intelligence for becoming inferior people with inferior intelligence, inferiority complex. People will not get confidence. They don't feel speak anymore. They don't wash everything we will become as a people. Cameroon start for club. Then they can't divide them back. For the people, then for not ever speak as one voice. They get for take that territory now, they can't divide them into northwest and southwest. For further weaken the people then. For further make the people not believe in each other. Not trust each other. Then every community, Yaoundé go appoint a person for that community as an elite. When I now be a representative of Yaoundé for keep that community under the nose, command and control of Yaoundé. Now that person now go come for their community, can't give salt, they can't give bag rice, they can't give soap from Yaoundé. Say na soap this way, you don't send them. Na soap this way, poor beer don't send them. Na salt this. All right? And everybody, election they come, we na go elect na poor beer. 100%. Beer get 100 results. No campaign. And then Ambazonian, they will turn around and blame La République du Cameroon. No. We not become leaders anymore. We are leaders, we are people them, they don't become appointees of Yaoundé. They represent the interest of the occupier. They don't represent the interest of the Ambazonian people them. So Ambazonian, they start for do all this agitation. Oh, they come out and say, hey, we want to go from AAC1. Yeah, they go there, they go write all the things they want to do for AAC1. Then they come out and say, hey, the Boya Declaration. Hey, they say, hey, the Boya declaration is not correct. 1 year after, those same people, they come up. They go gather for Bamenda. They say now the Bamenda declaration. Same. They don't weaken them. They don't turn them into a nothing. Now they feel only advocate. They feel only agitate. They feel only protest. Power no day. You go do now with it. You don't be surrounded by guns. You don't be buy gun for defend yourself. You don't be get army. You don't be get nothing. They don't take everything when you get them. Your parliament, they don't dissolve them. Your institutions, then they don't dissolve them. All the things where the Ambazonian people, they be get them. They don't dissolve everything. So what is left? The people, they don't get anything. Yeah, when they control everything. Because the people, they surrender themselves. Then they come out, they say, hey, for the Bamenda Declaration, you know, they give the Cameroon government upon a reasonable time. If Cameroon not take action for which the people they don't talk for the Boya Declaration and the Bamenda Declaration upon a reasonable time, then they go declare restoration of independence. Interesting. Now the journey of the Ambazonian people, them that politically, it continued like that from those 90s. And then Paul Biya woke up. He completed the work where he just started. He came, he not reached 2 years. He came in 82. 82. I think 84 or 94, if I'm not mistaken. He can't just woke up, change the name of the country from United Republic to La République du Cameroun. From 2 stars to 1 star. Bam! They don't complete the game. Ambazonian, they look at the judge, they look at. The judge, they look at. Because they don't be a leaderless people. And the judge, they look what it happen. They become, they just observe. Passive observers of their own lives. Passive observers of their own destinies. Passive observers. Why they become passive observers? Now because they don't take all the man picking them, they turn them into woman. They take all the woman them, they turn them into something else. So there is no courage, there is no conviction, there is no identity. A leaderless people. It continued like that till this person come on, it start again. From the gather the frustration. They start the protest for the early 90s. Ambazonia, they mobilize. Biya now understands it. This generation don't wake up and with the way that they go, with the frustration they don't face up, with the way that they go, it go be in a different ball game. They thief the election for Frundi. You win election. They thief the election. And you leave amid those same people that keep you under house arrest. And you not be fit for still advocate. For make the people they rise up for defend that victory. It not end for them. They know what to do. They know so these people they like money and they like positions. Biya say, all right, Frundi can make go talk now. The moment Frundi go, they give with the bulu bread and sardine with small back. They buy you over. The only time where people they be get any hope. Say they go ever get a leader if he speak for them. Leadership if he advocate for them. Stand for them. They buy them over. They teach Biya. Say as long as you give me money, you give me position, we go accept them. I will not care about the people then. All right? Now the process this. It takes from 1990 right up to 2016 for the next generation for hookup, for the next generation for hookup, and that next generation, they be one make the exact same mistakes with the previous generation they make. They be one go by the same playbook. The Agbabalas, the Fontem Nebas, the Tasangwi friends. They be one go do the same playbook of the Fonchas, of the Munas. They be one go do the same thing. Oh, they go for be gentleman. They go for be gentle people. Them. They want just talk. Make we sit down, we talk this thing. Even when they be surrounded by the colonial police, army, gendarme, secret intelligence services, make we just talk, yeah. Make we just talk. Why? They want just talk. Because La République since 1966, it don't take all Ambazonian man picking them, it turned them into woman. So the spirit of man picking, it not there inside them again. So the fear, because inside not there. They work like Cameroonese. So they say, "One go talk. Make we just resolve this problem. If we just talk for these colonial people, them they could become reasonable enough for understand we, for understand what you want them and what you are people they want them." Fortunately, now only one thing is saved the Ambazonian people then. One thing. While this generation of new elites, the Balas, the Fontaines, the Tassangs, where they be all them be being as civil servants and civil people them for civil societies. Why they want to go the whole this discussion? The energy of the millennials, the energy of the young blood, the energy of the internet generation, the energy of the Android generation. It be the cook. The boys a day, they be the cook for internet. Tapang Ivo come out. It's time for push up. It's time for push up. Say Ambazonians the most hook up. Start for tell Ambazonian boys them. Say we organize on ourselves. Tapang be no say if we not do something completely different from the previous generation, this same generation will fall for the same chuki. 2016 and 2017, it will turn exactly like 1992. They go buy them. And they go become sellouts. They go threaten them. And they go surrender to La République du Cameroon. They go bribe them. They go take them. And they will start to talk the Bulu language. Tapa start to give advice for internet. Start to radicalize the Ambazonian people then. Fortunately, Dr. Akwanga, he start to tell the Ambazonian people, say the moment don't come with the sounds of the guns, while people they need to organize themselves, prepare themselves, and for start to speak a different language for the 21st century. Say the way we don't behave in the past, it don't make we don't lose respect. We get for reclaim and redeem ourselves. Men must become men. Women must become women. We must develop a new level of courage for respond If we act like the people, the past, the future will be like the past. A new language, it will be spoken. The world was created by the word, right? A new word, it will be spoken. For trigger a different part of the brain, we don't be shut down. That part of the brain where they call and say, the frontal lobe. If you don't be shut down for the Ambazonian people then. Not only the fearful brain, the trauma brain, the foolish brain, the brain where you either run or you hide. Now that brain, the amygdala, now it be awake. The frontal lobe, they be don't close them, shut them down, it be sleep. This new talk, it can't start for reactivate this new sense of bravery. For remind we, say as a people, now who will be this? We're not supposed to be a lost people. Something new, it come into the neurology, into the minds, into the heads of the Ambazonian people. Them. Akwanga sound this song, this alarm, inspire Ambazonian, for push the Ambazonian people. Them. Say we are not listening for those politicians. Now the same politicians who they sell the Ambazonian people. Them. The new level of politicians, they go still sell the cause. They go still sell this generation. Say if you not listen for politicians, they will go take bribe for Yaoundé. Yaoundé go give them position. They go come out, they can't speak on behalf of the Bulu Republic for keep Ambazonia under colonialism and under occupation. Akwanga start for speak the gospel of freedom. They tell we say, since 1961, all attempt for get a constructive conversation with Cameroon. Cameroon don't use force for shut up all man. They either bribe you, they bribe you with money, bribe you with position, or they threaten you. If you not still listen, they lock you up. If that were not correct, they finish you or they disappear you. Now there are games and that. Akwanga one way. Say if we follow the politicians, if we follow the Balas, if we follow the Fontaine-Nebas, we go continue for be a lost generation. Dr. Akwanga one way. There comes Dr. Ayaba, that same time. It's time for tell we. My people, right? It's time for tell we. Say we must think different. We must act different. Now in that, it's time for tell we. Say for we, forget a new future will be different from our past. We must think different. We must act different. We must behave different. We must take different actions. If we follow the politicians, we will be doomed. It tell we say we must pick guns. Say what people, they must pick guns for demand wetin it be theirs. For demand wetin they don't take them for them. For them forget them back. Now they are own. It's time for tell we. So yesterday, when I be listening for Simon Munzo, for 2017, when things have been really pick up, when their Yoktabes, they come in, same politicians. Simon Munzo meet up them for Atlanta, United States. He meet up the Ayoktabes and the people for the IG group. That time we say could be the travel worker from city to city for champion the cause for the people then. He meet up them. Simon Munzo say make a give for some advice. He said, look, my brother say kwa Ayoktabe Julius. I don't be around for a long time before you. I know how the world you operate. This thing where the thing say, when I go do declaration of restoration of independence, and then some person will just can't recognize una the waste una time. He tell them, he say Ambazonian no go ever get that freedom and independence if una continue for talk say una want depend na on diplomacy and una be peaceful people. He say una stop for deceive the Ambazonian people them. Una tell them the truth. He say, look, I don't work for UN. I know as that organization to work. I worked there for a long time. I grow so I become the Assistant Secretary General for the United Nations. I want to give una advice. Una no go ever get independence by agitation. We try them. We don't try them since for decades. Bia no go listen for una. You and no go listen for una. When una just they talk say we want independence. And because of this, because of assimilation, we want independence. He say una no go ever get them. And he tell them say, all these things when una they talk say, if una do this, then maybe the world, the UN go change its mind and it can organize referendum for Ambazonia. Una the waste una time. It no go ever happen. But make a give an advice. Ayoktabe, my brother, if you really be serious, say you want to make things a change for the Ambazonian people, you got to be ready for fight war. Now they advise this with Simon Munzo, the chief federalist for the Pan-Cameroonian. That the advice is to give Ayoktabe for 2017 for Atlanta. It tell Ayoktabe, say this up and down na the worker, na a waste of time and na a deception on the people of the for the people then for the territory. Una they give the people false hope. Say somehow independence go just come if una do una waka, una tell una story, you know, una beg the international community independence will come. It tell them say na lie. It tell them say, my brother Ayoktabe and the rest, una just be honest with the Ambazonian people then. Una tell the Ambazonian people say it go take na sweat, it go take na blood, it go take say people they go die, it go take na war for Ambazonia for getting independence. Una listen. Not be nice to talk more. Una listen for Simon Munzo.
Yeah, because many persons are asking
whether
will now come and say, go and conduct a referendum.
Yeah, because many persons are asking
whether it was possible for another referendum to be done.
No, well, if people want to push for it, I will not stand on their way. I said, please go ahead. I don't know where you would go to ask for it. By all means, go ahead. Let me see what the answer would be. But as at now, in my opinion, the UN, which was a midwife of the birth of this country in 1961, is not going to come and tell the government of Cameroon we are organizing a referendum in your country. By the way, a referendum cannot be organized in a sovereign country without the consent of that country. So, and that's where again I said to my compatriots in Atlanta, if we are going to insist on getting independence, don't deceive the people by thinking that you are going to get it through diplomacy.
Okay.
Because at the time Mr. Julius Ayuktabe and others were crisscrossing the country, the diplomatic offensive and all of that. So you're kidding, you're fooling yourselves. You are not going to get this through diplomacy. So if you insist on independence, know that it can only come through war.
Yeah, because many persons are asking
Whether it was possible for another referendum to be done?
No, well, if people want to push for it, I will not stand on their way. I said, please go ahead. I don't know where you would go to ask for it. By all means, go ahead. Let me see what the answer would be. But as at now, in my opinion, the UN, which was a midwife of the birth of this country in 1961, is not going to come and tell the government of Cameroon we are organizing a referendum in your country. By the way, a referendum cannot be organized in a sovereign country without the consent of that country. So, and that's where, again, I said to my compatriots in Atlanta, if we are going to insist on getting independence, don't deceive the people by thinking that you are going to get it through diplomacy.
Okay.
Because at the time, Mr. Julius Ayuktabe and others were crisscrossing the country, the diplomatic offensive and all of that. So you're kidding, you're fooling yourselves. You are not going to get this through diplomacy. So if you insist on independence, know that it can only come through war.
Una hear? Una don't hear? Una don't hear for Simon Munzem up? Una don't hear? We don't talk, say, make leaders that tell the people them the truth. We don't always insist. Say, make leaders that tell the people them the truth. And that's why I still get some respect for Dr. Akwanga, because at the beginning, he tell the Ambazonian people them the truth. Say, it go take blood, it go take na fighting, it go take na AK, it go take na self-defense for Ambazonia for become free, for broke the yoke of occupation, for broke the yoke of colonialism. That's why I get so much respect for Dr. Ebacho. Because since 2016, he started to tell the Ambazonian people the only way where Ambazonia it go become a free state and the people go get freedom and independence, it go take now war. He tell the people openly. It go take now this generation for answer the call, for make the necessary sacrifice, for liberate the territory from Cameroon's occupation. Because the international system, it don't set up all these things since 1961. They don't just woke up, they can't change all these things where they keep, where they call and say world order, for peace, security, and stability, for please a small group of people them. They don't go change them. They go change them when you give them no other choice. They go change them when you go from being stupid to being smart. You go from being ignorant for person who acquire knowledge. You go from being a person who not get confidence and self-esteem for becoming a person where you accept your own right as a living being for acquire power. I don't talk about people they get the right for become foolish or they get the right for become smart. People they get the right for become ignorant or they get the right for acquire knowledge. People they get the right for be weak. People they get the right for remain under occupation and they get the right for be free. Now a choice. Dr. Akwanga, he helped the Ambazonian people them for make the choice of freedom. Dr. Yabacho, he helped the Ambazonian people for make the choice to be free, the choice to be smart, the choice to be bold, the choice to be intelligent, the choice to be brave, the choice to be powerful, the choice to be human. He tell we, no man no go give you freedom by begging. No man no go give you freedom. Oops. By feeling sorry for you, for you freedom. That's something where you must earn them through your own sacrifices, through your own persistence, through your own commitment, your willingness for sacrifice for it, your willingness say you want them so badly, and you be dedicated for it, and you get for proven. You know if you negotiate for freedom. You know if you go negotiate your way into freedom. Now until you acquire the power, because the occupier be using the power for make you powerless, right? They not beg you. They not beg you for make you powerless. They use the power for subjugate you. They use the power for colonize you. They use the power for occupy you. You get for use the power for get yourself out of occupation. You get for use the power for get yourself out of subjugation. You get for use the power for get yourself out of assimilation. You must make yourself powerful for gain the respect of the world. Americans, they not be good for England. They say, well, England, well, we just beg ya. We not stop the occupation of America, no. They create their own power. They fight them until the British Empire, he realized and say, they not fit win this war. They not go fit change the stance of the American people. The convictions of American people say freedom, it better pass for live for occupation. It make them the sacrifice for their liberation. And today they enjoy the benefits of freedom. Any group of people, including the people of Biafra, for accept second-class citizens, na choice. Just because our forefathers, they be make that choice. It don't mean say we need to accept that choice today. Just because the previous generation, it be make that choice. Whether out of lack of character, out of lack of conviction, you know, none of will really go dig those archives for really know what to be inside French I had. They will fit learn from their weaknesses and mistakes and take the advice for people that don't live through those systems. For change our thinking. The past, for accept the past and make that past may become the future. Now crying. Now crying. My greatest joy. I'll tell you a story. 2 days ago, when on Monday, the Ambazonian Defense Forces of the Bamenda Brigade, they go launch an attack for the occupation forces. They launch a big attack. They be supposed to go with plenty soldiers then. But the other special forces, they not be fit for come on time. So now half of what it be required for that action, now half of those soldiers, they reach. and they go launch an assault on Cameroon military. A big attack on the enemy. One of our top commanders, he be wounded for the battle. And La République du Cameroon, they know say an ADF fighter, he don't be wounded. And they be do everything possible. From the blood where they see how the blood, they be want to do everything possible for capture that soldier. So that they fit show him for the world. So they don't capture one ADF commander. The forces, they understand the game. And why we not need the ADF need to leave a soldier behind. That very moment, they call for backup. They call the mother, they call the special forces them for backup. They call other ADF brigade them for backup. For make sure say they rescue that soldier. Wait for the place where he don't be surrounded by the occupational terrorist forces. He not stay. ADF soldier, they come up from afar. The special forces, they enter for that place. The brigade, for one of the units them for inside Bamenda, they enter for one corner. The special forces enter for one corner. The other unit, he enter for one corner. This one, it call La République du Cameroon. Like Granola, they start for throw, for play with Cameroon army. Pull them. La République du Cameroon now, enough he fight the special forces for that direction. Enough he fight this unit for that direction. Now enough he fight that unit for that direction. They go try for attack that unit. They will go try for attack that unit and attack that unit. While the rescue team, the ADF rescue team, as they do all these things, the rescue team, where they don't train them for this kind of mission, they enter inside that area of fire. Enter inside. Rescue that ADF commander. And carry safely. Come board for that place. Why did I tell you this story? I did tell you this story because for 2016 and 2017, a new generation rise. The generation, the never again generation, it don't rise. For end the elitism for Ambazonian and for redefine weighty be leadership for the Ambazonian people. For redefine the future, for redefine the terms, for redefine the destiny, for redefine the direction where the Ambazonian people get for taken. A new leadership don't rise. This new generation of radical freedom seekers, radical freedom fighters, for demand for the unconditional independence and freedom for the Ambazonian people. That the generation where they understand, say, for be free, you must build power. You must make yourself powerful. For gain the respect. For hold ground. And for gain the legitimacy. For be the new authority. You must build power. Now the reason that I tell you this story. The power we don't build them since 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. It don't bring me for 2021. Now the new leadership is for Ambazonia. Now the leadership of brave commanders, brave soldiers, brave fighters, brave generals. Now then they be the new authority for Ambazonia. The class of the elites where Ayijo Bila, the class of the elites, where Paul Bia creator, for speak for the Bulu Republic. It don't end. The commanders and the generals, now them be the new authority, where they speak on behalf of the Ambazonian people them. The forces have the new power for Ambazonia. The thing where Ambazonia they be lack them, and the only reason Ambazonia they under occupation. And because you not be get an army for defend the interest of Ambazonia. Will not be build an army. They go into negotiations. They go into arrangements for become partners within to create a new state. They live and La République already build their army. La République already build their gendarme. And they work a day without dross for their waist. Without belt. Without AK. That's why La République conquer Ambazonia. That's why La République occupy Ambazonia. We be leaderless. Now, everything don't change because of one thing. We don't gain the leadership where we lead the people there. Now remember, their goal be been for dismantle the Ambazonian people, their capacity for get a leadership where we push and lead the people there. That one be their primary objective since 1966. That's why they dissolved the multi-parties. That's why they dissolved the Ambazonian parliament. That's why they create unification. Now the whole go that. For dissolve the Ambazonian people, their ability for get leadership. If it speak and lead the people then. It take almost 60 years for a people for rise. Almost 60 years. Wow. So this new generation will not rise. From the general I be tell when I story 2 days ago from Manu. When I see the bravery and the courage of these soldiers, when I go understand this generation. Now the generation this. So my fellow Ambazonians, the power they talk for this world today. We don't gain the respect, we don't gain them. Not because we don't understand the nature of the beast, the nature of the occupier, and we respond appropriately. And we project ourselves appropriately. Now that power will give you the future we need. Now that power will defend the interest of the Ambazonian people. Now that power be bargaining leverage. Even within the international system. Even within Cameroon. Now that power, now the power of guns, now the power of soldiers, now the power of bullets, now the power of organized defense forces. Now it be the bargaining power for the 21st century. If people will not organize themselves through that kind of power, they will always be people who will bribe them, buy everybody, and kill the whole movements. So as you did listen for me, I want to make you focus for every block for build defense power. Focus on building the structured defense forces under the stabilization force, under the Ambazonian defense forces, for support the plan on the ground for the Ambazonian people. For give the Ambazonian people what they need them for end occupation, end Cameroon colonialism, as Simon Munzo, he don't talk. The way we will take and gain independence Now for win the war against La République du Cameroon. Nothing else. Anything else. That's why since 2016, La République du Cameroon no care. No one talk. Why they want talk? When the same world will give them the certificate of sovereignty. They take Ambazonian people their certificate of sovereignty. They give them for La République du Cameroon. If now you be La République du Cameroon, you go negotiate. Why? When they give you a petit cadeau, that's why they be arrogant. That's why the Bulu people, they be so arrogant. Because Ambazonian, according to them, a petit cadeau. According to them, a small gift. That's why they see Ambazonian like slaves. You don't need to accept someone's opinion and definition of you. That's why we get this responsibility for change this calculation and change this projection, this negative projection on the Ambazonian people then. Build the army and gain respect. Build a powerful army. The Americans, they go come to you. The British, they go come to you. Macron, go come to you. Stop being a beggar. Build power. You go attract power. For you to join the club of the powerful, you must build power. For you to join the club of the successful club, you must become successful. All right? North Korea, small North Korea. Not been a Donald Trump. He go beat up King Jong-un. Why? Because they build power. Their power give them the leverage. Build power and the powerfuls for the world, they will come to you. You be a beggar, you be a victim, you go remain slaves to the multinationals and Western influence. And generations after generations, they will pay the price. But choose for be the new Kagame. Choose for build the new Rwanda. Kagame build power. The world now the beg naive. They don't build an economy, give people them. And people they go through the genocide. When Ambazonian they go through, their own even be worse than what they go through. For 3 months, they kill 1 million Rwandans. 3 months, 1 million people, they be butchered. He vow, say never again. This thing will ever happen with my people. He take all that one. They build a new power, build a new society, will give their people them the leverage what they need for the international system. They not only end the genocide, but liberate the Rwandan people and focus for make them powerful. He focus for build an economy we could become one of the best for the world. And for the last 15 years, the economy of Rwanda, it don't achieve 15% GDP. 15% for 15 years straight. No other economy, it don't get that kind of GDP growth consistently for 15 years. If people they don't get one of the highest standard of living. So it be possible for a people for come out for occupation, gain freedom, gain prosperity, and create a society of abundance. It be possible. Kagame don't show us it be possible. The leader for our liberation, Dr. Ebacho, he don't tell we what we need for do. All right? Make we stop for argue for all this foolishness. do your research, come for the same conclusion like Simon Munzo. The only regret I get, my only regret, because I still ask myself, after 4 years, now when these other people with Simon Munzo give them advice, now when they go come to their senses, or they know will ever come to their senses, there may be a need for stop for worry about that question, because maybe they no one come for their own senses, because they be part of the old club of elites where they not believe in Ambazonian. Because if they believe in Ambazonian, after 4 years, after waiting they don't see them for the ground, I think say if we don't come out, support boys on the ground, come out, talk to make we focus on building this army. But we'll not need for wait for them. The young generation will have freedom dinner for our own hands. We have freedom dinner for our own hands. That's why I'd be very happy for work with a man who will be very consistent. I'd be very happy for serve under a leadership where it stands for pragmatism and intelligence. It stands for the truth and for which it work. And I call every single Ambazonian for live under occupation a choice. For be stupid a choice. For be a fool a choice. For be weak a choice. Also, because that same choice exists for be powerful, for be strong, for build power. If you understand how the world works, then we must do everything humanly possible as a people for make ourselves powerful, for join the club of the powerful class, so that you get respect for this world. Because our forefathers already paid the price. Our grandmothers don't pay the price. Our brothers and sisters don't pay the price. The price for the last 60 years of occupation, subjugation, colonialism, annexation, how they call them again? Assimilation, marginalization. That price where people they don't pay them. It don't correct. Now the time for build the power, for gain the confidence, for gain the bravery. That's why I salute every boy, every girl on the ground with the build power. That's why I get so much respect for commanders. I get so much respect for generals. I get so much respect for fighters. Where they understand this game. That's why I get so much respect for Ground Zero. That's why I get so much respect for this generation where they don't defeat Pobia through this power who don't build them for ground. And I get zero tolerance for politicians. That's why I be intolerance for the politicians within our war of independence. That's why I get zero tolerance for the politicians within our war of independence. I get zero tolerance. And I want to make you develop the same zero tolerance for any politician for Ambazonian War of Independence. Get zero tolerance. Not give room for any politician. Any person we know say self-defense that the way to go and you know what embrace them. Not give you room for be a leader for Ambazonia. Not give you room for represent Ambazonia. As a leader of Ambazonia. But that person, if he go be a civil society organization and speak from that capacity of civil society, but for be a movement, for speak on behalf of the Ambazonian people. The people, they ask for one thing: guns to protect themselves, guns to defend themselves, guns to liberate themselves, and guns to defend the sovereignty. Now all that they ask. They ask for guns to protect themselves so that they stay alive. Guns to defend themselves so that they stay alive. Guns to end the occupation and liberate themselves so that they stay alive. And guns to defend the sovereignty. That's leadership. We don't come out from being a people where they be leaderless to a people where now they get leader. And that's how they make the progress. Because we defy the old logic. Because we defy the old system of thinking. That system of thinking be keep our people under occupation. Now that system of thinking be make our people accept occupation. Education don't help we defeat that system of thinking. You be powerful. You be a generation where they don't redeem the entire Ambazonia. Now our defense forces, they don't redeem Ambazonia and reclaim the lost hope for the Ambazonian people. Now defense forces. Now those guns, they were gold. Not been a gold way there for ground. Now those soldiers, commanders, now them they represent the best of the best. And the thing of the world respect them. That's why we preach on it. Because now I don't keep our people alive. If I don't notice what don't happen over the last few months. Since the launch destabilization forces, I don't know whether when I pay attention. When I don't say La République du Cameroon, it don't reduce the massacre that we commit in Ambazonia. Since the launch destabilization forces and we build this power, we will project them through the Ambazonian defense forces. When I don't say La République du Cameroon, it don't reduce their killings of Ambazonian civilians. When I don't reduce, when I observe them, since the last few months, the killings of Ambazonian civilians, it don't be dramatically reduced. Why you not ask yourself, why? The rate at which La République du Cameroon they kill Ambazonian civilians, it don't reduce to almost 90%. The massacres don't reduce to almost 90%. You don't ask yourself why. Now the importance of build power. When you build power, even your enemy go start for shake. Because they become victim of that new power we don't build on. They go start for fear you. Cameroon don't start for respect Ambazonia because of the power we don't build on. Paul Biya don't start for respect the Ambazonian people because of the power we don't build on. When will be the last time they call for national dialogue? When will be the last time they form a commission for address the problem? Make yourself powerful and you gain the respect. You gain the dignity. All right? And the power this. Build the power, the enemy will pack out. The only thing we Ambazonia they need for doing, not plenty. We have found the defense forces. We have build more soldiers them, train more soldiers them, equipped ground zero through a command and control structure. Make we train forces, we equip forces, we give them uniform, we give them good guns. La République du Cameroon go pack out. We must replace the power of the occupier with the power of Ambazonia. They go pack out. Very simple. My talk don't finish. All right? My talk, it don't finish. Now, all that I be getting for talk today. Make the new choice. Now, all that. I don't go take any question. I don't get time to take question. Tomorrow, I'll come back, take all the questions. We'll get more discussion then. All right? As for today, my talk don't finish. When I get a blessed evening, when I get a good night, as always, I love you.
To the video of my talk that day, a referendum.
Yeah, because many persons are asking
whether it was possible for another referendum to be done.
No, well, if people want to push for it, I will not stand on their way. I said, please go ahead. I don't know where you would go to ask for it. By all means, go ahead. Let me see what the answer would be. But as at now, in my opinion, the UN, which was a midwife of the birth of this country in 1961, is not going to come and tell the government of Cameroon we are organizing a referendum in your country. By the way, a referendum cannot be organized in a sovereign country without the consent of that country. So, and that's where, again, I said to my compatriots in Atlanta, if we are going to insist on getting independence, don't deceive the people by thinking that you are going to get it through diplomacy.
Okay.
Because at the time, Mr. Julius Ayuktabe and others were crisscrossing the country, the diplomatic offensive and all of that. So you're kidding, you're fooling yourselves. You are not going to get this through diplomacy. So if you insist on independence, know that it can only come through war.